everyone, welcome back if you're already a subscriber, and if you're new, welcome in. I hope this video finds you informative, and if you would like to see more of my content and videos as well as updates in the future depending on when you watch this, please share, subscribe, and please like. It's the least that you can do when watching these. And today I wanted to talk about the sign Taurus, which represents the second house in Western astrology, and Taurus is the fixed earth sign of the zodiac. So earth is already very stable, grounded, very realistic, practical, dependable. It's like here on earth, so it's very realistic and dependable, durable. It's like the rock that you can lean on, someone like a Taurus, for stability and comfort, because they're very grounded. So any of the earth signs tend to be a little bit more grounded in the realities of the world here on planet Earth. Unless you're an alien, I don't know what you do, but yeah. Taurus is also ruled by Venus, so it is a very Venusian, lovey-dovey, beautiful, like a beautiful, serene, tranquil, feeling like you're on cloud nine type of sign. Venus also rules Libra, so both of these zodiac signs share that in common. Taurus also represents the throat, or that area of the body, so the jawline, the throat, the tonsils, vocal cords. If you have like Venus in the second house or Venus in Taurus, you might be a really good singer or have a very pleasant, soothing voice. And if you have any health issues, the thyroid, tonsils, esophagus, that can tend to be a little bit challenging if you have any health concerns, or they're more sensitive to that area. Of course, it's not limited to that, or of a major concern if you are a Taurus, but Taurus represents that area of the body. Taurus is, think of the finer things in life. They just want everything to be pleasant and secure, safe, comfortable, steady. They don't like chaos or change, so that's why they're a fixed sign. They don't do very well with change and, going out of their routine and order and way of how they do things, because steady and stable is something that they know, and so it's not unpredictable, it's very predictable. So Taurus is very, I always think of fine dining, when you go to like a 5-star restaurant and you have like a 5-course, 10-course meal with wine and dessert and hors d'oeuvres and a little bit of everything, and it just creates little fireworks on your tongue, because they're like the mouth, tonsils, taste, all of that stuff. So they like the finer things in life, things that make it pleasurable and beautiful, things that are beauty, because all the Venus things. It's also the second house, or Taurus, basically represents the material things that you have, as well as your self-worth, kind of like self-esteem, because typically we look at the material things that you own kind of relates to your self-worth. It's not actually a direct indicator of what you are actually worth, because you have to keep in mind that a lot of people who do have a lot of money and can afford a lot of great things, it doesn't always directly correlate to their actual value. So that is something to be aware of, that money is, you know, without money, if money actually just went poof and disappeared and we went back to the trade system, what is your worth now? You know, what can you do? What can you offer? What are your talents, skills, things that you've actually worked on and developed to make you more valuable, or people come to you more opposed to someone else for a certain specialty or advice or a craft, talent, whatever it can be. That is actually the intrinsic self-worth and self-value part of it. It's just like, if you have a strong sense of self-esteem and self-worth, it's because you know that you have a lot of worth from the inside, or you can provide like emotional stability. You're not irrational or try to play mind games or anything like that. And that is actually very valuable in like a family system, or if you're raising children, that you are able to, for the most part, be emotionally stable, for example. So that is like an intrinsic part of self-worth and self-value. It can directly relate to the material things you have. So, and then that depends on what you define as valuable. So you can see, or the examples out there is like people who have giant mansions and all the luxury items, jewels, or fancy watches and cars. They have all of that, but some people who have all of those things that look like maybe they're happy on the outside, or they're living the life, it doesn't always correlate to how they feel on the inside. Sometimes they feel isolated and alone, or used and abused for what they have, or their money that, you know, they have. So it's, you know, you have to kind of decipher that for yourself. And then some people define as, you know, a very wealthy life is just a loving home, stability, being able to just do basic things or go out once in a while, and they have really good friendships and connections and networks, and they're able to do what they really love to do every day. And that is wealth, regardless if maybe they're not as financially blessed. So that is also worth, or a definition of what wealth is. So those are kind of like Taurus type archetypes, or what the second house in the zodiac represent. What else is Taurus? A lot of Taurus people that I know, they're very grounded, stable. They feel kind of like homey. They can be fun. They love arts, the fine arts, museums, food, or like culinary things that smell good. So fragrance, or textures, textiles. So think like interior designers, or, you know, the culinary arts, or, you know, people who make fragrance, or you're like makeup artists, you know, all this category of people, they tend to gravitate toward that. Either if you have Taurus or Libra, or, you know, Venus somewhere, you know, that will kind of sprinkle that Venus energy wherever it's placed in your chart, you know. So you don't actually have to be a Taurus to enjoy that stuff, of course, but it's just, they exude that essence more than some of the other signs. Taurus is also your personal finance. So Taurus is the opposite of Scorpio. So they're both similar yet different. So Taurus is more of yourself, related to your personal bank account and what your personal self-worth is. And then the opposite sign is more related to other people's money, not your own, or like mortgages, loans, taxes, debt, joint resources, things that come after marriage where you have to share a house, share finances, or work together in some way when you collaborate in that department, as well as your in-laws, because usually when you marry, you end up marrying each other's family, because when you get older, you have to kind of take care of the elderly, and now like that creates tension, friction of like, you need to do this or that, or whatever circumstance that may bring, or none at all if you don't have a family where you need to do that, or it's very distant. So Taurus is more of your personal financial stability, your bank account, the things that you actually have. Taurus is also one of the 3 signs, or mostly we look at it with the house, of what might you be interested in career-wise, is like what zodiac sign is ruling the 2nd house. So traditionally, if your chart is in order, starting with Aries, then it's going to be, most of the time it's going to be in Taurus, unless you have a duplication or interception where that doesn't happen. So, you know, Taurus being in the 2nd house is where it typically is supposed to be, but the majority don't have that. Or I can't say exactly the majority, because I haven't seen the 7-8 billion people's birth charts, you know, so I can't actually say that. But that is the 2nd house, which is ruled by Taurus. So yes, they tend to be very dependable, reliable. They can be a little bit lazy. Some of the negative things about Taurus, because every sign has positive and negatives about their own sign, so you can't really ask like there is a better or worse sign out there. You know, everyone has their own free will to act or not act in the way that they want to represent their zodiac sign. So if you're acting poorly, you're making the whole group look bad, okay? So, you know, like, catch yourself a little bit. So Taurus, you know, since it's a fixed sign and it really likes comfort and stability, it doesn't like to rock the boat, or feel like, oh my God, like what's gonna happen? I don't like change. They can get a little too comfortable or fight for their own pleasurable desires and get a little too fixated on, you know, like, oh, I really want, you know, my expensive facial because I always get it. I need it for my beauty and to keep up with myself, and it's a really good investment. But sometimes, you know, things change and you have to let go sometimes. You're like, or you have to drop down to a less expensive facial instead of the top tier level, and you have to kind of loosen the grip. You can't afford that level of a facial, you know, like look at everything else in your finances. I know that you really love this facial, or you really love having a 5-course meal every single weekend and go through a bottle of wine every time, but you know, there's a consequence you know, like weight gain or unnecessary amounts of alcohol, or that's a very expensive dinner bill, and you said that you wanted to save up for a mortgage, like on a house, or save for something else, and you're still making the same amount of money, and where's it going to come from? So you have to kind of let go and budge a little bit. Or, you know, like I've also seen, you know, people who have a very steady, like a salary job, or, you know, they kind of, what do you call it? They get hired or promoted, or they just sign on for a manager role, but they had the their intent was just to get this role for security and not really do the work in order to do that job, and kind of get a little lazy because you're just getting the paycheck anyway and all the benefits, and hoping that no one really catches on or tells on you or anything. And as long as you kind of are peaceful and kind of get along with everyone, that you feel kind of safe, but that can put you in danger, you know, if your intent is like that. So try not to be too relaxed or too lazy when you are a Taurus, you know, because you can risk losing your financial stability by being too comfortable and assuming that, you know, you have it in the bag, for instance. Of course, that's not all Taurians at all. Everyone is an individual person, and Taurus usually they want to make sure they have financial security and stability. So they're very hardworking and dependable and reliable and loyal typically. So it doesn't apply, something like that doesn't apply to everyone, of course. Beauty, kind of dressing up. I'm trying to dress up a little bit to represent the Venusian Taurian energy today. So it's like creative and expressive, kind of like flowery, passionate, romantic in a way. You know, it's like sensual, it's like seductive and sensual in a very comforting way. So yes, and I believe that is going to conclude my video. That's all I can come up with on the spot. And please, once again, like, share, and subscribe. Share this with a family or a friend or anyone who you think would benefit from this video. And check out some of my other videos in the playlist down below. You can also book a personal birth chart reading. I like to do birth chart readings more in a counseling type way, even though I do them typically as a pre-recorded reading, at least as of now. And maybe in the future I'll open up one-on-one coaching sessions if you feel like I'm a good suit for you, as kind of like I hear what you have to say, and I can point out different perspectives and different things just to be aware of. So yeah, that link will be down below. It's www.natashascreativewellness.com. You can book it in the little booking tabs, booking scheduling tab, and just pick the earliest date and time. It's organized that way more for me to be organized, and because readings take time, it takes time to upload and all those things, and I have my other job, my main job, which I'm a personal trainer. That's another thing. Taurians might they like to work out, not necessarily because they like the feeling of the workout if you don't have a lot of fire, for example, in your chart, but they like working out because of the aesthetics and because they love to eat. And so if you want to get away with eating that much, you kind of have to work out. You don't have to, of course, but it can be a possibility for Taurians to like to do some sort of exercise routine in order to look pleasant and dress up nice and such things like that. So they're into beauty, having nice skin, hair, makeup, if you're a female, or just love to do makeup in general, regardless male or female. Or have a nice haircut, your beard trimmed, kind of cuticles tightened up or whatever, get a massage, all of those type of things is Taurian. So yeah, please book a session if you're interested in what I have to interpret for you. Each one of us readers is like a different personality, and we can all give our own different insights as to reading your chart and how much or how little information we put in there. I try to pack it in with as much information as possible, and you can watch it as many times as you want because it will be a pre-recorded link, a private link sent to you through email. So you can save it on your YouTube channel, so you always have it and watch it whenever you feel like you need to go back to it. Because sometimes when I first really researched a lot of my placements, I kind of rejected a chunk of them and like, I'm not like that. I'm like, no, that doesn't apply to me. But after meditating or reflecting about certain things, the more and more and more that I learned about it, I'm like, oh, I am like that. It's just not in the way that I thought exactly or how it was communicated. So different people will communicate things in a way where it'll make more sense to you, because we can't just know your whole life. So we're just reading the chart. So it's really great for your own self-awareness, what any pros, cons, things that you might need to be aware of a little bit, because sometimes we don't like hearing things, you know, that we don't like, or someone else pointing out something that's like, oh my God, someone else pointed a vulnerability of mine and they see that and they don't even know who I am. So in a counseling approach, it's more to make you better, because the more aware you are, you're able to catch yourself and work on it, even if it's really slow or you're not ready for the change. So it takes time. And if everybody did that, like, we would progress as a whole collective so much faster. And we would also understand and be a little more empathetic about other people and their path and process, because they have their own personal chart and challenges as well. That doesn't mean you have to allow people into your life all the time and break your boundaries or disrespect you. That doesn't mean that. It's just being understanding of other people, and they're going through their own thing, and because you really understand how complex your own birth chart can be, and everyone has their own. So please check out my website, book a reading, check out some of my merchandise, because I kind of played around and created like journals, yoga mats, some other merchandise that is from my like paintings and other artwork, and I put them on like Printify or Printful, depending on what you're looking at. And it's not produced directly by me, so I just get a percentage of that. So if you want to support in any kind of way, buy a little product, because journaling is really good to get your thoughts out or your ideas out, manifestations, whatever you want. Yoga is a really good grounding exercise, stretching, also your isometric holds. So strength in a kind of different way if you're not ready for any kind of weight training. It's not the same as weight training, but it is really good for you also. And so I have yoga mats that are more colorful and unique, and I hope you enjoy them. They're kind of like thin, but like a typical yoga mat, and very, you know, it doesn't slide on the floor or anything. I purchased them because I want to test them out myself. So it's like overall, okay, pretty good, I have to say. So please support in some way. I might have some kind of products on my website as well, like downloadable products or like a book. I have written a book, it's just I haven't put it up there yet, so it would be more of a downloadable PDF that you could buy if I have it up yet or not. So thank you for watching if you've stayed this far or stayed this long, and please check out some of my other videos in the playlist down below. I'm gonna produce more and more content for now. So yeah, thank you and goodbye. See you later. So